Well, would you believe it? I have myself another ARRMA RC. This time, the ARRMA Vorteks 4x4 2 to 3S BLX ready to run. And this is actually a really big moment for me on the channel because, believe it or not, after all these years of doing reviews for ARRMA vehicles, the Vorteks is one that has eluded me ever since the beginning. Way back when ARRMA used to have only the two-wheel drive cars, and then they started bringing them out in BLX versions and everything. I actually had plans and had even discussed with them to try and get a two-wheel drive Vorteks on the channel. We were going to do some speed run, like a speed run project type thing, and it never eventuated, right? Never got my hands on the Vorteks. Then the 4x4s came out, and I got the Typhon, I got the Centon 4x4 3S, and I even got the Kraton 4S, but the Vorteks continuously eluded me, and I never got my hands on one. And even this one, despite the fact that, you know, it's the first one on the channel here, this one is actually not mine. This is on loan from a friend of mine. I recently sold my Kraton 8S, and you know, with all the upgrades and all the rest of it. And he was the one that actually purchased it. And when he came to pick it up, he recognized me. We had a great chat, and you know, we've sort of become buddies since then. And he offered, you know, this is his car, and he offered to let me unbox it and even run it on the channel. Now, I have unboxed friends' cars in the past. You know, I've had cars on loan from time to time, but I've never had anyone sort of give me the green light to go out and run this. So you are going to see not just an unboxing of this, but you are going to see me run this in later videos as well. And then of course I'll hand it back to him when it's all beaten up and everything. But I may have something, I may have a little surprise for him later on to thank him for this. So Michael, you know who you are. Thank you very much for this, mate. Really appreciate it. So here we are with the Vorteks 4x4 stability control, body clipless design, latest and greatest electronics in here. Let's get rid of the box and let's have a look at what ARRMA are doing with this 10-scale platform now, because it has been a hot minute since I got myself a brand new 10 scale from ARRMA, and yeah, this is actually looking really, really nice. So starting off with the goodie bags, of course, we are going to start with this. The tools that they include, these are actual proper hex drivers. And I've got to say, I don't know of any other company that's doing this. So for me, ARRMA gets full marks for this one. I'd much rather have this come with ready to run vehicles than those crappy Allen keys. Now, granted, I don't know what sort of quality the steel is on this. Maybe they're just as soft as those L-shaped ones, but it should make working on your car a lot easier when you have a proper driver like this. So thank you, ARRMA, for doing this. This is a really good step in the right direction. Very, very cool. Now, next thing that's in here, and also some more brownie points coming ARRMA's way here. Now they got this little pew-pew thing, this tool, this weird looking tool, which serves a multitude of purposes. I think it's for your wheel nuts, and there's a special thing here for something else, and there's another hex in there for the smaller screws, and then it's got stuff, I don't know, you'll figure it out. Spacers for your shocks, so these do not come with threaded body chocks. And there is still a little Allen key in here, but it's only a 1.5 mil, which I presume is just for grub screws and stuff, which is fine for the most part, I think is okay. But here's where it gets really good. So, as we all know, for the longest time, ARRMA have done 14 mil hexes on these 4x4 BLXs. And they are actually including 12 mil hexes with this package. That is a huge big deal. I'll just turn my light down a little bit there because it was actually really bright. That is a huge big deal to include 12mm hexes with this, because that means that yes, you can run the stock wheels and tires as you would, but if you decide to get aftermarket ones and they come with 12mm hubs, well, now you've got the hexes to go with it. Big brownie points there for ARRMA. I wish more companies would do this sort of thing. That is a huge plus. Very, very good. Next thing here is going to be just a little card which has some QR codes. One's for the manual, one's for the showcase, which I think will take you like the website and stuff. So that's what that's for. And then of course you do get 4 AA's. Now normally these do come in like shrink wrap plastic, but I think Michael's already opened these up they'll obviously be for the remote. And then last but not least, we got our favorite part of any unboxing that I do, which I know you guys always leave me comments saying, hey Vas, can you spend more time on the manuals? Because we really do appreciate you taking the time to go over the manuals for us. So here we are. I'm going to quickly start off with this one, which is just a technical pack. So this is a big fold out, which will have, am I holding it upside down? I think I am. Have a big exploded view with all the part numbers, where everything goes, blah, blah, blah. We have some information here, just going through how to remove the motor, change out the pinion, set your gear mesh. Really good pieces of information here. Some part numbers and some optional parts are on here as well too. So very good little quick start guide. And then of course we have the proper manual, which has multiple languages, and it talks about how to set the car up, where do you plug your batteries, how to turn it on, all of this sort of stuff. I know that manuals get skimmed over on a lot of unboxings, and even when you are the end user, you're going to look at this and just fling it off into the corner somewhere. But someone somewhere on this beautiful blue marble that we live on, floating through the vastness of space, someone took the time and effort to make these things. And you know, I do like to point them out because there are a lot of newbies out there that sometimes watch my videos, and it is important to at least read some of it and familiarize yourself with the vehicle so you know exactly what you're doing, so you don't blow anything up, you don't break anything, you don't, you know, damage your vehicle. So shout out to anyone that does good manuals. ARRMA have always done good manuals, they've always put in the effort, so I do like to acknowledge that. So the radio is one that I've showcased on the channel before, and honestly I don't have any complaints about this radio. I think it's perfectly suitable for this type of vehicle, and it's within the price range of the vehicle as well. So this is the SLT3, runs on 4AA's, feels really good in the hand, has the usual trimmings and everything, nice foam wheel, trigger feels nicely weighted, no collapsible antennas or anything like that for you to break off, stands up perfectly like that. You can also lay it down like that, or of course on its side. Don't have any major complaints with this guy. You've got steering dual rates over here, throttle trim, steering trim, little LED indicator light to let you know when it's on and if it starts to run low on battery and so forth. There's a couple of switches here which the manual will tell you about what they're for. We have our on and off button just on the back here, which I think it either used to be black or red or something like that. Now it's orange. Reverse switches back here. You got throttle and steering reverse switches. And then this one is your 50, 75 and 100% power output, so you can control the top speed of the vehicle, you know, in case you give it to a noob or somebody that's just new to RC and you don't want them to go 50 miles an hour into a brick wall. Other than that, radio is perfectly fine, shouldn't have any issues with it. And of course, now we come to the pièce de résistance, which is the ARRMA Vorteks. Now you may find that this one's got a little bit of dust on it. I think Michael had it on the shelf at one point, or he's had it out of the box for a little bit. But of course it hasn't been used. So it is a brand spanking new. Wheelie bar on the back, spoiler back there as well, really nice wheels and tires. I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen a lot of unboxings on this car because I'm a little bit late to the game here, I'm fully aware of that. Hey, I finally got one and I figured why not show it off on the channel. So we have body clipless design, which actually is brilliant. And then of course we've got our wheels and tires and suspension. Suspension, I gotta say, feels a little bouncy. I'm not sure how this is going to go. It doesn't feel as plush as some of the other cars that ARRMA have tuned in the past. It feels very basher ready, I have to say. But then of course, when you weigh it down with the 3S battery, maybe it'll soften everything up a little bit. And we are in winter, so maybe the oil's a little bit stiffer than normal. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out once I actually run it. Wheels and tires. The wheels I don't have an issue with. They look like F11 wheels from Proline, to be honest. Tires actually feel pretty good. They got good foams in them, and the tires are actually vented. So you'll see that it's got a little hole in there. Why is this a good thing, you may ask? For those of you who don't know, those of you who might be new to the hobby, or maybe you've got a car that doesn't have vented tires, but maybe the wheels are vented. Well, the reason why they vent the tires is because it allows dirt and water to expel through those holes while still allowing the tire to breathe. If you vent the wheel, There's nothing wrong with that, but when you run through puddles and things like that, water can get into that hole, and as the wheel spins, well, the water gets pushed out to the outer edges of the inner part of the wheel. So it gets, your tires or your wheels get waterlogged, right? And yeah, you end up having to try and drain them out and so forth. So venting the tires is actually a smarter way of doing it. Some people don't like it. They say that it might promote ripping the tire because now it has a hole in it. Personally, I don't really see that being an issue so much, but yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion, I suppose. All right, moving on to this body clipless design. So there are two parts here where you push down and unclip the body. There's this one over here, you push down, and then this one at the back where you got to push down a little bit harder to get the back one out. Now, I have found that there's probably a slight design flaw with the way that they've done this. The back one specifically is the one that I have a little bit of a problem with. Trying to get this body off is a bit of a challenge. And I'm going to try and explain this. So they've cut out this little piece here to make, you know, to sort of allow you, you can see how that works, right? You push that down. The problem is there's not a lot of leverage, right? You're kind of pushing right on top of the spring. I almost would have gone and tried to design this so that this entire panel would flip down, and that will give you the leverage and the ability to actually put some, you know, a couple of fingers on there to push it down and clip it off. That would be my preferred method, but doing it with this little thing here, I understand why they did it, because it's, you know, it's like those, I don't know if that's an exhaust port or fuel cap or whatever that is, but it just makes it really hard to push this down. The front one's not an issue at all. You can see that they've actually got a much wider or longer piece here, and you can push down right on the end here, and it actually pushes down really, really easy, right? So this front one is not an issue. The back one is the one that I have a problem with the design of it. I would have done something different there. Just a personal opinion, small gripe. You can still take the body off. It's not the end of the world. But I do like this design and the way that it works. Basically, you have these body pins that have these grooves in them, and then that spring kind of locks into the body pins, and that's how the body stays on. The only downside with this is that there's no like proper guide to kind of get you to fit that on there. I almost wish like they had like these little flares on here so that you could actually center the body pins a little bit better, and it almost guides the body to go into that spot. Because the first time, or the first couple of times I've tried to put the body on, I mean, too far forward, too far back, I'm left and right. It's kind of tricky to get it back on. But once it's on, it seems to lock in pretty well. So I haven't heard of too many people having the bodies popping off. So, you know, all things considered, I think this is actually a pretty good spring system. The body itself feels very thick, very rigid. It doesn't feel flimsy at all. It's got some thickness to it. We've also got the usual tape protecting against the, you know, the chassis scuffing the body and so forth. A couple of roof skids rather on the top here to protect the body as well. And the spoiler is nice and rigid. It's well supported on the body. It's all locked into this entire bracket system. You know, big thumbs up there. My only criticism, as I said, is just this back spring bit. Wish it was designed a little better so that we could actually unlock the body a bit easier. Moving on to the chassis itself. Wow, they have made some changes since I had the V1s way back in the day. A lot of differences here on the chassis, the way that it's reinforced on the front here. I can see quite a bit of difference here. There's also some holes that they've opened up in the chassis to allow for debris and stuff to fall out. And of course, we now have a center differential, where the previous models that I had did not have a center differential. And they've redesigned this, I guess, side skirts to protect debris and so forth from getting into the chassis. So a lot of changes. Battery straps look really good as well. They've got these little plastic pieces on them. I don't know if people like them or hate them. This is one of those scenarios where if the battery is wider than the actual little plastic strap pieces, this could become a bit of a problem because it's going to dig into the battery. You guys may not remember this, but in the V1 8S vehicles, before they had the north to south straps. They only had the straps going across the battery. ARRMA did include these little adjustable little plastic pieces that you could put underneath the battery straps for when you were running, I'll put this down, for when you were running two batteries side by side. Those little plastic pieces would actually help to lock those batteries together. They've since stopped supplying that, obviously. The battery straps have changed completely. Yeah, back then they used to do them. These ones here do not look adjustable, so they're set, you know, like they're set to a specific size. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if you can bypass them, or maybe you need to buy like the previous version battery straps or aftermarket battery straps to not have these plastic pieces in here. I don't know. Maybe you guys can leave a comment in the comment section. For those of you who own one, you know, do these bother you? Are they okay? Is it a non-issue? Let me know in the comments. The other thing that they've done here on the front strap, they've actually ran the power cable right through it, so it locks into place, and you know, it helps with wire management. So this is a really cool system. I don't particularly mind this, and you can still slide the cable in and out, as you can see here. They haven't completely locked the cable into place, so you have a little bit of flexibility there. But it is only like clamped into that plastic piece, so you can unscrew it and actually take it out if you want to. You're not necessarily you know, confined or restricted in taking this out and using it in some other way. If you want to shorten the cable, you can do that as well if you want to. So we have, I think it's a 3660 3100 kV brushless motor, and we have an 80 amp ESC. These are all Spectrum branded electronics, and we have a fan with the heatsink on the motor to try and keep it nice and cool. Wire management, you know, the wire management game from ARRMA has always been on point, and you know, even little things like this where they're kind of keeping everything nice and tidy even when you plug your battery in. They've done the same thing here with all the motor wires and everything. It's always been really good to see, you know, good wire management. And they have a little waterproof on-off clicky switch rather than a slider switch, which is always welcome, because those slider switches always seem to turn off by themselves. The steering servo is a 17 kilogram steering servo. And then as we move around the car, we've got plastic body chocks with preload spacers. We've got the little protective boots on there. We've got telescopic plastic drive shafts. We've got adjustable camber links, adjustable toe links, adjustable camber links on the back as well. And of course, we've got a wheelie bar, which I don't believe is adjustable. Correct me in the comments if there is a way to adjust this, but I don't believe it is. It doesn't look it. Maybe I'm missing something. But yeah. There we have it. Body posts look to be adjustable, and I would presume that you can take these out and maybe use the previous model body posts. So if you want to run an aftermarket body on here, you should be able to, I think. If these can be removable and you can put standard body posts, then you can do your own thing. So that'll you know, customize your Vorteks a little bit. Overall, I gotta say, they've made some pretty good improvements on this. We got steel diffs, we got a steel spur gear as well. You can just see it peeking through there. So yeah, lots of really cool, good improvements on this. Nice, strong front bumpers, shock towers and everything. All the diff cases look like they've been beefed up from the previous versions. There's a lot of good stuff here. So I'm very much looking forward to running this and just seeing how it's going to hold up overall. Again, a big thank you and shout out to Michael. You know, leave a little thumbs up in the comments or something, just so he can see that you know, you guys appreciate him lending this car to me and allowing me to go out there and scuffing it up a little bit. And yeah, we'll leave this one here. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button before you go. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll be speaking to you all next time.